right, let's move on. We're bouncing from Houston back up to the DFW Metroplex. We're going to go to the Hilltop, talk SMU, the SMU Mustangs. They go to a bowl game coached by Sonny Dykes, their new coach, which was
coached
by. He was there.
He watched. He was
there
supervising.
Hey,
supervising is a better word than coaching,
that's a good way to put it. Number 87, go play. Okay, like it was an odd situation, but they go to a bowl game. Obviously, they lose Chad Morris. They bring in Sonny Dykes as the new head coach. I think, in a lot of respects, I think Sonny Dykes was a decision to keep the train on the tracks, that they liked the direction the program was going. Kind of hyper Texas recruiting, big-time offense, kind of, you hate to say like Mike Leach, Texas Tech light, but it's kind of in a lot of respects, it's like we're going to score a bunch, we're going to be a high-flying offense. So their New Year's resolution for 2018 needs to be that the secondary needs to take a step, because the secondary was terrible. It was really, really bad. And now, part of that, as you mentioned, the American is kind of the Big 12 light. Like everyone can score. You got to be able to score to win in the American. SMU's got that down pat. They've got Ben Hicks, who maybe needs to cut down his interceptions a little bit, but they need to. I think that defense, if they can just have a defense that goes from, or especially a passing defense, that goes from objectively terrible to not bad. That's all they need to do. They don't need to be great. But when you look up and down this roster, it's a lot of youngsters who are getting time in the secondary. Mikhail Onu was a sophomore. Jordan Wyatt's coming back. He was a junior. A lot of the guys in that secondary, important guys, are coming back. That's great, but they got to take a step. And if they take a step, then all of a sudden you start looking at SMU with a third-year starting quarterback, and you kind of cock your eyebrow and you go, you can dream on that team. But it's all going to start with that secondary. They have to make that step in the offseason.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think, especially, one thing for that secondary, I do think the offense has to take a step back a little bit. Even though you have the person, obviously, you're going to lose Cortland Sutton. Mm-hmm. Ben Hicks, I think, is still going to get better.
Trey Quinn as well, right? Didn't he?
I believe so.
Did he declare?
I think he was a senior. Either way, I could be wrong. Either way. The offense is probably not going to be quite as effective. Chad Morris, obviously a great coach who has gone on to bigger and more arcane and things. Mm-hmm. But SMU gave up, I'm looking at it right now, 27 plays longer than 30 yards, or longer than 40 yards, excuse me. ECU and Tulsa are the only teams who gave up more. I mean, you can't. You
can't live like that.
You can't. You just can't do anything effective like that if you're giving up that many.
Well, because in a lot of respects, because then all that does is that just puts more pressure on your offense to go back out there and keep scoring. Which, look, they did, but you can't. That's great, but you can't expect that, especially when they are losing Trey Quinn. He declared for the NFL draft. Cortland Sutton's going to the NFL draft as well, and so the offense is probably, even if it just takes a half step back, right? It's still a good offense.
Yeah.
But that defense is going to have to pick up that slack.
Exactly. And I think, that was the thing with Houston. Houston gave up a bunch of chunk plays, but the big plays, they seem to do a decent job of. They're not giving up, a 70-yard bomb that just changes the game and gets your offense right back out there. And it just took us 12 plays and, to go 75 yards and score, and they just, flipped it. That's really frustrating for an offense. And so you got to prevent that, especially in the American. You got to make teams earn it. You got to, hold for threes in the red zone and not give up sevens.
Right.
And that's tough to do if you're giving up those kind of big plays. So, yeah, I'm with you. I think it starts in the secondary for them. Limit the big plays, and that's tough too. I mean, Texas Tech has been trying to make the jump from super bad to, not horrible for a while, and I think they kind of got there this year a little bit. And that can be tough. I almost feel like that jump is almost just as hard as going from, really good to elite.
Yes.
It's like the middle ground you can move in, but if you're stuck in the basement, it seems like it's really hard to get out of there.
I think you're right that if you're in the if your total defense rank nationally has 3 digits, it's really it's as hard to move up into just to number 80, right? As it is to be number 25 defense to move up to top 10. That's a really big leap. I think both those are big leaps, but SMU needs to make some improvement in their secondary if they're going to succeed in 2018.